Welcome back to Les Schwab Tire Center's Outdoor GPS. Now it's real time, sponsored by the Mill Casino.
Welcome back, everyone. Now we're going to join Kyle Dodson. He's the owner of Aura Angling. Typically, when we talk with Kyle and his wife, Miles, they're out there out of Pacific City in a big, beautiful, by the way, dory boat. But today, drift boat chasing steelhead the last week of January. And Kyle, number one, thank you very much for spending some time with us this morning, man. How are things this morning?
Cold. Cold. We are actually in the first rundown from the launch. Had Nash on board with his grandpa. I want to say hi, Nash.
Hello.
I wanted to.
Hi there. Very cool.
I wanted to make sure that everybody was comfortable. What I've been seeing is it doesn't matter. The steelhead wait for us. So you don't need to be the first boat down because it has been fairly cold.
Kyle, I want you to elaborate on that. 'Cause there's a debate, of course, every year about should you wait if it's cold? Should you be the very first boat? Should you go ahead and just let the monkeys get by you and just play cleanup? What's your take on that? I mean, you already kind of mentioned it, but why do you kind of lean that way?
I'm running all my own stuff that I believe in. I would rather bat cleanup than be the first guy. If I have clients that want to get up and grind hard, I'm okay with that too. I used to commercial crab. I can go no sleep. But I don't think in the winter time that it's as important as people may perceive, unless you are on a section of river that is going to see 10, 15, maybe 20 boats. And yeah, you want to get out in front. No bite like first light, right?
That's definitely part of the theory. But as it's been so cold, sometimes those fish just need to wake up a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah. I think 1 degree can make a big difference.
Now, right now, Kyle, you're on the anchor talking with us, and yes, everyone, this is live. This is not recorded at 9:44 in the morning. But you got some plugs out. Are you running a lot of plugs these days because of the conditions? Are you changing things up? How are you going after them?
Sure. Early in the morning, well, early-ish. We're just getting started, so it's not even early. But I like to start and see if there's any guys that are just kind of taking their time. I want to let them get in front of me. So I cover the first 3 to 4 runs of this section. I'm taking my time. I'll look in the water as I'm pulling these plugs, and we have been catching fish right out of the gate after the boats go around. The fish move around. I don't believe that steelhead really spook that easy. I think they like to move around, and it can help you.
That's a good point. And running plugs is a way that you can get those baits in front of them. Overall, though, how's the fishing been up to this point? It being the last part of the last week of January.
Real good. Tough conditions. I would say it's 20%. 20% of all the boats that are fishing where I am are succeeding. The rest of the reports you're going to hear are we hooked one, we lost it. That was our only chance. Low and clear stuff's getting a little bit, downsized, longer stuff, more natural presentation, changing colors. The fish are here. The first time I came out for a shakedown run, I got home and I talked to some of the friends that weren't working. They were just fishing. And I quickly found out there was a lot of fish, and my report of a dismal bite wasn't the case, and I needed to go back to the drawing board.
Okay, I get it. Now, other than, of course, pulling plugs in these conditions like you are right now, everyone he is on anchor talking with us, but he's running plugs while he's talking. What's your other preferred ways to go after him in these low, clear water conditions that we're currently in?
Sure. I like to use clear stuff, clear bobbers. Float fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Float fishing. I'm trying to slide these out. I am in a new craft. I am getting used to the rod storage. Shout out to Clacka doing that. But I'm gonna show you 5 bobbers at once. How about that?
Sure. It's called a big guide mess.
Yeah. There you go. But more that guy right there. And I have a little, it's like a bass weight right with it has an auto stop directly underneath it. Right? Majority of my weight is with my bobber, not down where my presentation is, so that it can stay looking naturally, right? A lot of guys think that you're fishing a 3/8 half-ounce bobber, that the only way to submerge that bobber is to have a half-ounce or 3/8 weight. It is the case, but where do you want it? Do you want it down low if it's low and clear? Heck no, because it's going to be very obtrusive down in that density of the water, right? We live in the air. You can't feel when I go like this if you're in my boat, but underwater, you get that 3/8 or half-ounce knocking around. It's I'm just going to move out of the way. I'm not going to look at that. Yeah, so that's just what I found. I like to put a lot of the weight with the bobber, and that gives the guys the ability to be able to cast it. And then it does take a little longer to penetrate the water depths, but once it gets down there, it can get kicked around. It can stay in the zone longer. It can snag less. Every guide likes to snag less.
Yeah, the manufacturers love it when you got clients that just hang up all day, but it sure makes for a lot of knots throughout the day. So what are you fishing underneath those? Are you fishing jigs, beads, both? What do you got going?
Yeah, I run a lot of beads and a lot of bait. Steelhead want to bite. Oh, and you know that. Yeah. I think if you throw, the example I use is you throw a set of keys at a human, 9 times out of 10, they're just going to catch it, right? It's more about finding the steelhead. That is the challenge that I see day in and day out. But once you find them, they're going to cooperate 9 times out of 10. I do run a lot of beads. I like the general population, these soft beads, and yeah, they're great. They do work and they're dangerous. But there's something to be said for how it can get kicked around under the water. Those hard beads are way lighter.
Okay, so we may have lost him just briefly here, everyone, so bear with us. We're hoping that we can get that back. We've got a few minutes left in this segment for Kyle. Kyle, can you still hear us, bud?
Check. Yeah, I can still hear you. You got me or no?
Yep, we got you. All right, well,
okay.
Things are changing. We've been fishing on, I shouldn't say we, you have been fishing on these conditions, low clear water conditions for well over a couple of weeks now. That's about to change. Sure. Coming the end of this week, we got water coming. How's that going to change your plan for you and your clients? Are you going to change river systems completely? Are you going to stay on the same system and just change your game? What are you going to do?
Yes, I'm going to do all of that.
Okay.
Yeah. Once that water will come up, then they're in different places, but they can't see you coming on them. So you're gonna up weight, yeah, and fish different areas. More tail out movement. Tail outs are really only working for me until about 11 o'clock, and then when that sun's up high, it's the next part, right? That riffle, because they want to be covered from that sunlight.
They're going to look for a place to hide. That's a good point, and it's something that everybody kind of needs to pay attention to. I know I overlook that quite often. I always want to fish the spot that I caught the last fish in, but days are always different. They're always different. Sure. You got to be willing to change things up. What's it looking like for you, though? You know, obviously we've got a lot of time. We haven't even gotten into February yet, although we're about to do so. You got all of February. You got March. How long are you going to be chasing these steelhead before you ultimately go back to the saltwater?
About the end of this trip, I will be in the saltwater Tuesday and Wednesday.
Nice.
I did want to. We have some room on Tuesday. If anybody wants to get in the ocean. It is, the fish are super crazy bitey in the wintertime because the reef's been kind of quiet. But overall, I'll run steelhead through about middle of March, and then we'll start running that new HDP boat out there.
Yeah, what a beautiful boat, too. And you're seeing his website, everyone. If you have the inclination and you want to do something that maybe you've never done before, a dory trip out of Pacific City is an absolute destination. And no one will take better care of you than Kyle and Miles, his wife, at Oar Angling. There's no question of that. But I would assume that you've got some space for folks, so just reach out to them. they'll be able to get you out there on the water, either be chasing some steelhead through March or, of course, chasing some bottom fish as things progress a little bit further. What were you just showing there? We didn't see it.
It's good. It's gonna throw a monkey in the wrench. You know, a lot of guys are starting to run spawn bags.
Yeah,
and they're like, don't even talk about that, right? We've been tying these since I left from Michigan. I'm gonna zoom in the camera, but yeah, they're just singles, low and clear. They got some floats in them, but they roll around kind of like a bead, and they got a little bit of that stank on them.
Yeah, I will have to admit I've been requested to do the Spawn Sack Tech Tip, and that's probably what I'm going to have to do this upcoming Sunday. So I'm going to ask you, on that note, you mentioned that you got floats in there. You got little fish pills in there?
Yeah. Not in all of them, right? It's just based on, I like to have that option. If I'm fishing somewhere that is pretty grabby down low, I want to be able to grab that bag that has those floats and know that it's going to have a little buoyancy in it. Yeah, it's kind of like, for me, it's the bead that caught on however many years ago, and then everybody's running them now. When I first came out here, a lot of my friends now are like, dude, we don't tie spawn bags. This is Pacific Northwest. You cut that and you put it in an egg loop, boy. And yeah, it's crazy because now it's like the best kept secret spawn bag. I don't know. The guys in the Great Lakes, they've been doing it for a long time.
And yes, you can tell everyone he is a migrant to our beautiful state of Oregon from the Midwest, and we love him for that because he brings some great opportunities for folks to get out and do some fishing and enjoy themselves here in the great Northwest. Hey, listen, make sure you say hello to Miles for me, okay? I don't want to get in trouble, but we need to put something together. I want to get down there and do some fishing with you with your Midwest techniques, maybe up against kind of what we like to do over here. It sound like a plan?
Would love that. Yeah, I would love that. Yeah.
We've been threatening that. We've been threatening that for a couple of years now. We need to make that happen. But have a great day, my friend. Thanks for spending some time with us. We look forward to checking in with you again, okay? Take care, partner. All right, we're going to cut to a break. When we come back, everyone, we're going to wrap it up and give you an idea what we got going on for this upcoming weekend. It will be very busy.